Hey guys, or hey everybody. So I yesterday or last time we got this position to update this text to update properly. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go into the toolbox and get it to actually update in real time. Because right now, if we save this value, nothing happens. Or if we change that value, nothing happens. Okay, so what we need is to basically, first, I guess we need to update our mesh item, the X position with the value, oops, with the value of this X position. And then what we need to do is we're going to need to tell the Three.js service to update our mesh based on our mesh item changes. Now we don't have an update mesh yet, so let's go down. Let's see if we can go to that thing. Yeah, the little record thing that you can't see gets in the way. But basically we want it right here. So we're going to call that update mesh, and it returns a void, and it accepts a mesh item, and that mesh item is type mesh interface. And basically we need to get our actual mesh that we want to update from. It's our heavy mesh though, the one that has all the 3JS magic in it. And we're going to say this dot meshes because that's our list of meshes, and we want to find the one that where its ID. Sometimes I can talk faster than I can type. Mesh.id is equal to the mesh item that we passed in, that ID. And once we have that, we want to take our update mesh and we want to find its position, and we want to set the X, and we want to set it based on the mesh items dot X position. And that really should do it. And let's see if, unless I did something wrong. And like if we make that a 4, yep. And so it moved, and that's awesome. So that's cool. And this would probably be the best time to do a sanity check and sort of do some refactoring and renaming and stuff like that, because we've been sort of heads down coding for a little while, and obviously things are going to drift off. But why not have a little bit of fun, and let's add our X and Y position. I mean our Y and Z position as well. Um, so first thing when we want to do something like that would be to go to our interface and add those things in here. So there's going to be two of them. So I'm just going to copy this X position twice, and I'm going to change this to Y position, and it is required in Z position. So that means it'll break a bunch of stuff, which is actually extremely helpful. And the first thing it breaks is in here in mesh, add mesh. And so in add mesh, we pass in the X position. And so we're going to want to do Y position. And we're going to default that to 0 and Z position. And we're going to default that to 0. And then over here, let's go ahead, since this is getting big, spread it out a little bit, and say Y position, Y POS is equal to Y position that gets passed in, and Z POS is equal to Z position. And we'll save that and see what happens. And we're good. And so now let's go into the toolbox, JS, TypeScript, and um, let's go ahead and just leave that as is, but we need to update our form. So we are going to add our X and Y position to the form. And see, like since we have this all set up and everything's kind of, just ready to roll, we don't even really have to understand how any of this works at this point. We can just sort of almost go into a zombie mode and just copy stuff. But so now we're good there. And so now we're going to want basically to copy these, and this is clearly not the best way to do this. And during our sanity refactoring, we'll definitely do this in a better, think this through and do this in a better way. But we can just change this to Y, change that to Y, Y, and a Y. And in a really well done application, like that's been really well thought out and really well built, you can actually, like, developers can do this. Like, they don't, like, if you're in a real huge hurry, you can actually get stuff working and never really actually understand what's going on, because it just all makes sense. You can just find the code that's kind of like it and then just mimic it. Okay, so that's good. So now in our template, we need to add 2 more rows. And actually, we need to add 2 rows here so that we can see what our current Y and Z position are. And so this gets easy peasy. No real thinking. Just go in here and find it and make changes. And that's first thing. Yep, so we're seeing all of our stuff. And now let's do the same here for our form. And, just Y and Z. And we got all of those. And so now, and I believe, yeah, we took care of these guys, and we update the mesh. And so let's go into the mesh and go to the update and just update, add 2 more lines. And that should do it. We should be able to set the Y and the Z on this. And like I said, we, since the code was already laid out, we really didn't need to understand it. So that's probably a good sign that everything makes sense, or at least not. I don't know if makes sense is the right word, but so let's do this. Let's change this guy's Y position to 2, and then, yep, that worked, and make it closer to us. I believe the Z position is, so yeah, so that's 5. So now it's kind of behind that thing. So let's go ahead and change this Y position to 1. And that's pretty cool looking. And then, so, we can add another one. Yeah, since it automatically goes to -2. And let's kind of make it the inverse. So -1 and -1. And that's pretty good. And that's like a nice little screenshot there. I might add a few more before I make the thumbnail, but this is pretty awesome. And, at this point, it'd be tempting to, be able to add all kinds of stuff, like changing the sizes of the boxes, changing the rate of speed of the animations, and all that stuff is very doable at this point with what we built out. But it probably doesn't make sense. I mean, there's probably a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense if we actually kind of step back up at a 30,000 foot level and just sort of do an analysis. Like right off the top, this component's named Toolbox, but almost everything in it is dealing with meshes. So, that's kind of a bad smell. So, anyways, I'm pretty excited about what we have. Happy coding. Bye.